Hey guys, my name is Shannon Burns. I am a personal stylist for busy moms and owner of the online store Layered by Cake, which is an online boutique for busy mamas. I am here with Emily Saunders. I'm so excited. I'm going to be introducing her momentarily, but we are doing something really special. This is our first video blog since I kind of stopped blogging for a while, and so we're relaunching our blog, but we're doing it in a video series, which I'm really excited about. For any of you that follow my community already or in our VIP Facebook group, you know that I go live every Thursday at 10 a.m. So you're very familiar at seeing me and my team here at the LBC headquarters talking about style and fashion and what's new to the shop. But this blog is really designed for more mom-like topics. We're still going to be talking about style and fashion, but I'm bringing in experts once a month, and Emily is our very first expert, so I'm super excited to chat with her today. But she is more an expert on fitness and nutrition, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So there's a couple of things that before I introduce that we'll launch into, but today we're going to be talking about how to stay consistent with your workouts. This is a really important topic, I think, for moms especially. We're super busy nowadays, and that's the one thing that I notice a lot of moms where they lack in their reaching their health goals. I don't want to say weight loss goals because I think it's just really about being healthy and feeling your best every day. And we have a tendency to kind of have this ebb and flow or put our kids in front of that priority, that self-care mom priority. So we're going to be talking about that today. We also have a really exciting giveaway. Emily is donating some really cool product, you guys. So we're going to be talking about that too towards the end of this video. But first, I want to go ahead and chat with Emily. Emily, I'm going to let you go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us about and what you do.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Shannon. We've had such a great working relationship for the last couple of years as we've both been working on growing our businesses. But I am the co-founder of a company called MomSanity, along with my business partner, Debbie. And we focus on motherhood, faith, fitness, and nutrition. Our company has changed a lot over the past 5 years since we started, when we started really focusing on workouts and nutrition, which is still our primary focus. But now we've moved more into the product arena too, because we were finding that there were not enough products available for moms who really valued what's actually in your products, not just how they taste, but what's in them and what is this doing for me nutritionally. And we don't want to put anything in the hands of a mom that they can't give their kids to. So that's really important to us. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later. I'm also the keeper of Cross Training Couture, which is a faith and fitness apparel brand. That's what I'm wearing right now. And Shannon has been really helpful in helping me launch into something completely new and different. So I'm grateful for that as well. And then we also, my husband and I have Raised Them Well, which is toxic-free products for babies, kids, and families. And that is a kind of whole other ball game when it comes to eliminating toxins and making sure we're taking care of our families with healthy products. So that's a little bit about me, but just like you and just like your audience, I'm a busy mom and I have a lot of things on my plate, and I want to prioritize my family first, and I've got these businesses to take care of as well. But when we forget to focus on our physical health, then none of that can be healthy. Like, we just cannot continually pour out and prioritize things well and focus and have the energy to pour into the things that require that of us if we're not taking care of our bodies. And this is not something to shame anyone to say, oh, you're not working out enough, or you need to stop eating junk food. We all kind of know when we need to do those things, so nobody needs to be told. But what I want to do today is share with you just a couple of maybe mindset shifts and then some practical tips as well for how to maintain consistency in your health journey, especially when it comes to workouts. But this can be applied to healthier eating or really just about anything. And while we're not setting goals together today, I think that this analogy of this SMART goal is really good when we think about anything that we're like, gosh, I should do that. Any of the I shoulds or I need to, this is a really good thing to kind of go through as far as, okay, how can it be? What do I actually need to do to make it happen versus just wishing and feeling like I'm not ready to do that. So SMART, the S is specific. So when it comes to workouts, that's what we're talking about today. What is it that I specifically need to do? Not I need to work out more, not I should go to more classes, but specifically, when I look at my schedule, what is it that I can actually fit in? Am I in a season in my life that home workouts, I mean, you can do killer at home workouts. Trust me, that's what I do most of the time.
Yep.
Is that where you need to be right now? And if so, when are we going to do them and that kind of thing? So let's think specifically. Or if you say, absolutely, I cannot do that, but there is this program and it meets 3 times a week and that's realistic for me and so forth. So specifically, what are we going to do? Not just work out more. Measurable. So if we think about that same thing, how many days are you going to work out? How often is realistic for you? You absolutely do not need to work out 7 days per week, not even 5 days per week. For most busy moms, I really think with as active as we are, 3 to 4 days per week is plenty. So don't set the bar so high that you end up dropping it. Attainable. So is what you're trying to do attainable? So don't set yourself up for failure, right? Don't set this bar so high that it's not possible for you. So, and we do that. We're like, well, I'm going to do this and that, and I'm going to take my kids to the childcare for this, and then I'm going to sneak this in at this time. And it's like, is that realistic? Like, is that actually going to happen? I don't know. So that's next. The next is R is realistic. So attainable is kind of like, can I actually do this? Whereas realistic is, does this fit into the season of life that I'm in right now and the other demands that I have on me? Because if we set ourselves up for failure, every time that happens, it's that much harder to claw our way out of it and try again, because we don't want to fail and we're afraid of it. So we just kind of like, okay, I tried working out, or I tried that boot camp, or I tried this thing and it didn't really work for me in the long run. Right. And timely. So like, how do I fit this time into my schedule and make it something that I can actually commit to, and so forth. So it's just a really good thing to use for just about anything that goal setting of any kind it can be, I want to pack my kids' lunches, to I want to launch this business. It can be pretty much anything that you can use this for. But a little bit more specific to exercise. I think sometimes as moms, we need to reevaluate what our purpose is. So our purpose is not necessarily to wear a size small in Shannon shop. I mean, that's great, but it's also, that's not our purpose. Our purpose is to be able to show up bigger for our family. Because if we're looking for a number on the scale or a size of clothes, that's never going to fulfill us in the long run. So remember why you're doing what you're doing, and it really does help to motivate. And then to say, okay, I do have to be a priority. Like, I can't just always put the kids first, put this thing first, and never give myself a little bit of time to prioritize my own wellness, really, because we also need a little bit of time to decompress and maybe to be by ourselves every now and then, right? That's almost equally important for our health.
Let me ask you one question, because I think you touched on something that I definitely have thoughts about. I love that you're saying, like, it doesn't have to be a numbers goal necessarily. So I personally don't own a scale.
Yes.
Okay. And that's what I kind of figured. I had a feeling that you didn't own a scale, because at the end of the day, like water weight and all these other little variables that can, like, I talk to some women and they're like, oh, I'm up 2 pounds, or I'm down, whatever. And it's like, I think at the end of the day, a good measure for it's how you feel. Like, did you get enough sleep last night? Did you drink enough water? All of those things also play into your energy levels and how you feel, and staying consistent with your workouts too.
And what you said is really a good indicator. So, I mean, everything down to, have you gone to the bathroom yet today? Like, have you, and when we're well hydrated, we sometimes weigh a little bit more, and that's what we want to be. So, it's like, not. And I think, how we feel in our clothes as far as an overall indicator. And some people like to use measurements and so forth, and that's fine too. But the scale is literally a piece of plastic with a battery. It tells you nothing about your health, your fitness, your work, or even your size. Like, have you ever seen some of those comparisons as like, both of these women weigh 145 pounds and the one is like super fit and curvy and the other one is overweight, and it's like, okay, this means nothing. This has no indicator of my health. So
absolutely.
Yes, throw away the scale. It is such a, and the more muscle you have on your body, you definitely will weigh more, but you'll be smaller, and that's great, right? That's what we kind of were like. We want to be lean and tight, not necessarily skinny. No one needs to be skinny, but we want to be lean and firm and tight and, feel confident. So obviously, yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad you don't own a scale. So my next point was, and feel free to interrupt me because I just kind of go.
You're good.
Making an appointment with ourselves. So I was discussing this with Shannon earlier. Moms are so quick to just say, that's not going to work today. I can't do that for myself. And we'll just do that over and over again. And in some ways, I think we use it as a defense mechanism because we don't actually want to commit.
Sure.
On the other hand, we will move heaven and earth to make sure that we get our kid to dance or football or whatever. That is, we don't ever miss that because that's a big priority for us. And so think about that in your own life. Like, am I constantly setting aside my priorities and the things that are helping me to be a better mom by overly prioritizing my kids? Or am I just not, or is it just that I need to put that equal amount of, this is on my calendar, this is what I do, there's no questions, it's just what happens.
Right.
And, obviously things come up. Kids get sick, schedules get changed, and so forth. And most of the moms I talk to that are the most successful with consistency are those that, I know most of your audience is going to be like, I knew she was going to say that, is getting up and exercising in the morning before the day begins and before the kids are awake. And I know that for some moms, that's like 4:45 in the morning. And again, I don't think anyone needs to do that every day. Like, you don't. But most days my alarm goes off before 6 a.m. at least. My kids sleep in a little bit because our school doesn't start till 9, which is awesome. But yes, but it's still, I have to. Did you have a question?
It paused. It cut out. We had a little bit. I'm sorry. I'm going to have you go back because I did have to cut out. Sorry. It just, paused. I don't know if it was Wi-Fi. Is your Wi-Fi connected well?
Yeah, it looks like it is, but for a second it said, it looks like it's fine.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you're showing white again, so that's good.
Okay, cool. Sorry. I'm like,
it's okay.
It cut out a little bit there. So, so yeah, you were talking about, putting all the kids' stuff as priority. Like, right. I was definitely in that part.
Start back with that part. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
So, that's okay. The next point is that we too quickly as moms set aside our own priorities for those of our kids. And it's not necessarily even that they're requiring us to do that. It's a choice in a lot of ways. So if they have dance or gymnastics or piano or football or whatever, we will move heaven and earth to make sure that they are there and they're committed to this thing. But when it comes to our own commitments, too often we kind of let them fall by the wayside because it's not convenient.
Right.
And we've got to make sure we remember that our priorities and our commitments are just as important as theirs, if not more in some ways, in the ways that we can serve them. And it's not a bad thing for your kids to see you prioritizing your health and your wellness and to say, you know what, right now, I actually need to do a workout. You need to, kind of humble yourself in a way over all of your needs from me so that I can get this done so that we can work better together and so forth. So,
yeah, and I think that's I want to touch on that for just a second,
yes.
Because I think that's it comes back to that dirty word. It's a dirty word that I like, that phrase, mom guilt, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How many of us carry mom guilt for thinking that we take that time? And I'm totally guilty of this. Okay. Like I make self-care a huge priority. Huge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I have moments, kind of freak out moments where I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm pretty high maintenance, I guess. I mean, I like to do my hair in the morning. I like to have my makeup done. I like to make sure I'm put together before I tackle anything I do in the day. So in all honesty, like my alarm clock goes off at 5 a.m. I'm
Yeah.
not ready to leave my house until like 8:30. Okay.
Yeah.
It takes me a while. I make my protein shake. Like I do my workout, I make my protein shake, I take my supplements, I pack the lunches, I get my daughter ready to go. My husband takes her to school. And then I've got my son, you know, I've got to get him up and ready to go. And he either goes with our nanny or he heads off to preschool. So it's a busy morning. And it's not just me, but I also do facials once a month. I also try to fit in like a massage quarterly. I usually go maybe 4 or 5 times a year. You know, so those type of things are I do a lot of self-care and a lot of priority for me. And I've really struggled with that, thinking that like I'm being selfish, that I'm not really, you know, investing in my kids the way they deserve. But at the end of the day, they get the I time block all of that. You know what I mean? So like my daughter, I make sure that my son has activities to do while we sit down and it's one-on-one and we do her homework the second I pick her from school, and all of those things. I think we kind of neglect that that's the time we're spending with our kids. That is time with our kids. Making sure that their meals are prepped, getting them involved in the dinner process. Like I always, now that my daughter's old enough, I try to get her involved in making dinner. Those are important things, because at the end of the day, these are daily activities that we do in life regardless. We have to do them. You know what I mean? So involving our kids in those things and creating that time is important. So not feeling that obligation, like you have to spend every ounce of your day serving children. Does that make sense? Like,
well, I'm a firm believer that this whole like helicopter parenting, overindulging our kids, they have so many choices. I'm a firm believer that that's not helping the next generation, that, you know, that the parents, the marriage and that kind of thing kind of have to come first. And I don't mean like, oh, it's all about me, everyone needs to serve and bow down to me by any means, but just like, we've got to prioritize ourselves. We've got to make sure we take care of ourselves. And I'm the same as you. I love massages. I love facials. Like there's things like that I do make sure I am taking that time to do, because otherwise I'm not going to be a good mom, you know. And it's not even necessarily about like, you know, oh, I need this special treatment and this makes me feel good, even as much as it is, I need downtime, and I don't get very much of that. And so when you kind of set that aside, like you said, it's really important. So I think we have to remember that the way everyone else is doing things, and maybe that whole comparison thing, we've got to kind of keep our eyes on our own paper and our own family and that kind of thing as well, when it comes to where we're spending our priorities and our time and our energy, and what are we actually teaching our kids in our actions. Is, you know, is everything always being about them actually what's even best? So
right, absolutely. And I think all of these things that we're touching on, Emily, I was going to say, I think we're getting a little off topic, but not really. Like all of these are the excuses that we make to not do our workout.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I mean, and I have a lot of working moms in our community that work their 9-to-5 jobs, you know, and that I felt like when I worked a 9-to-5, it was even harder. I mean, granted,
I have no doubt.
My kids were smaller at that point. Like my daughter was real little and I was trying to work retail, and that required like 60 hours a week. And I just couldn't do it. I was losing my mind. And so I went to a normal 9-to-5, and that was tough too. And that's why I ended up with the home workout. So I love how you're saying too, like figure out what works for your schedule, that's reasonable for your time, and is doable for you. And that could be like going out for a walk every morning, 2 miles, like start there. You know what I mean? Like don't overcomplicate your workouts. It doesn't have to be hard. It's just going out and really getting that, like, what do they say? At minimum 20 minutes a day, right? Of activity. Just something to get you going. And the more you work up for it, like I'm addicted to fitness. So I love working out and I love trying new programs and I like weightlifting. And I challenge myself now in my workouts. So I need more of that self-care time. So foam roller, that thing is my best friend. Making sure I stretch, like with that excitement comes a whole other set of priorities too, when you start getting into these things. But I think all of these things that we're discussing is reasons and excuses that we as moms make to not, you know, be consistent with our workouts. Like we'll try it, we're super pumped, and maybe we have a best girlfriend that we're going out and walking with every morning, or doing home workouts with, whatever that looks like. But I think it's easy to like let that fall to the wayside. We let these excuses creep in, whether it's it's mom guilt or our time or, you know, whatever that is. But I think at the end of the day, like it has to be a non-negotiable. It has to be your energy level, your happiness. There's so many things that come from doing that every single day.
Absolutely. I agree. And I think, you know, like this, we were talking about earlier, you know, we both are super early morning exercisers, and that really does seem to help with consistency. I think you just have to consider, know yourself, know your schedule, and don't try to make something work that you already step into it knowing it's not going to be a long-term solution. Right. Now, granted, seasons change quickly with kids because, you know, having a baby is different than a 5-year-old, which is different than, you know, our time changes over time. So it's important to continue to reevaluate, but don't just say, okay, you know, this season's going to be hard. Now we have basketball, so we can't do this. I can't do this anymore. So I'm just going to like wait till after. That's the first step. And like, okay, if you're just stepping away from it, it's not going to happen. Is there a way you can reevaluate? Well, how can it be? Can I try doing this thing instead? And also just like trying, and I kind of look at everything in life, especially as a mom, as practice. Like, I don't know about you, but I'm not perfect at anything. And so like, okay, let's try this. Look at it as practicing rather than setting ourselves up for, well, I have to make this work. And if this isn't the thing that my friend is doing, then I can't do it and I should just give up. And we have such a tendency to do that. So just practice different ways of trying it, right?
I like that. And actually, on that point too, so I started the beginning of 2018 in January with a pretty intense workout program, and I was super pumped about it. I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. And I mean, I got ripped. Like my arms are nowhere near as fit as they were at the beginning of this year. But I will tell you, like, I made a promise to my kids too that I was going to enjoy summer a little bit, and I was kind of ready for a break. Like by the time I had done this pretty intense workout program through the spring, but I learned so much during that program, and I'm allowing myself a little bit of grace. Like I was doing like hour-long workouts, and it's harder when my kids are back in school and we had done summer. We kind of like, you know, had a lot of activities going on in the summer. So I went down to a 30-minute workout. I'm still doing my workouts every single day. I do 6 days a week. And then on my rest day, I usually do a pretty good like stretching workout. But again, I'm only doing 30 minutes a day, and that's perfect for me. You know what I mean? So, and I'll probably ramp back up and do the other intense program later in the fall. But for right now, I'm just enjoying resting, recovering. Like I'm listening to my body and taking those cues and doing the right things that I need to do, but not stopping. And I think that's the most important. I hear that a lot. A lot of moms are like, oh, well, I'll start it after this, like whatever is going on.
Oh, it's always after. And I see it happen all the time in the programs that we offer and so forth. It's like, well, someday or after this or, but I feel like we live in a society now that's so like that about everything. So we are so hesitant to really commit to anything. And I'm not really sure why it is. I think it has something to do with the feeling of connectedness that we have through social media or something, but we just don't. Like showing up is like so optional now. And it's like, do that for yourself, and practicing it in our workouts helps us to show up more in our lives as well. And that's just something I think to think about. I did want to offer, a lot of women ask me like, okay, well, how many days do I need to work out, or should I work out or whatever? And I'm going to give you kind of just a basic idea of getting started. So what I generally recommend is 2 to 3 days of intense weight training per week. And this is the bigger the movement, the better. So if you're doing like a squat, curl, press, and you're doing that for a minute, and then you move on to another big body movement, like that's where you get the most bang for your buck, and you can be done in 20 minutes.
Right. And so really like compound movements, is that?
Yes. Big compound movements.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So those kinds of things, and just, you know, it doesn't have to be complicated. Like you said, you can do that for 5 minutes and then move on to push-up rows for 5 minutes, and then move on to, you know, those kinds of things where you're not having to be like, what comes next? What do I do now? It doesn't have to be that. I like to incorporate sprint training of some kind into most ladies' exercise. So if you know you can set aside 3 days per week, incorporate some sort of sprinting into that. And it doesn't have to be running. If you hate running or you have bad knees or whatever, fine. You can use a bike, you can use an elliptical, whatever, as long as that. Push as hard as you can, rest really hard. Push as hard as you can, rest really hard. And always set aside a time for some of the things that you mentioned earlier, like foam rolling, stretching, gentle yoga. I love hot yoga. That's one of my things that I like to do to kind of restore my body as well. So we've got to make sure we're doing that, especially after having kids. And I don't know about you, but my body feels different than I did at 25. I get a lot stiffer now and so forth. And so I have to be cognizant of that and make sure to take care of my body in that way too.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think, I mean, I mentioned it already, but I think like water intake is huge.
Yes.
I do use a post-recovery supplement when I'm doing a more intense weight training, or if I'm, sometimes I'll do like a pre-workout supplement if I'm doing an intense cardio day. Just depends on like what the activity is that I'm doing to depend on those supplements. But I know, and both you and I, of course, have had years and years of like trying different things. So I think like back to your point about practicing, it's trying these different routines, maybe following somebody on YouTube. I know there's a lot of information now on YouTube too.
Sure.
There's so many ways that we can find information and try programs that try them out, see if they're working for us. You know what I mean? But you do have to be like, you do have to be committed to show up and actually try it. You know what I mean? Like you can't
Absolutely.
you can't say, oh, I'm going to try this for 3 days and then, oh, it's not working so great. Okay, well, did we do everything we could possibly do,
Right. And that's what I think we do too much. And it flows into everything though. It's like we kind of give up on that or give up on ourselves in that way. And then it becomes something else.
Right. We got kiddos
I
here.
have a child here.
No worries. No worries.
Bye.
Totally cool. It's all right. But yeah, I mean, and I love so do you, my one question for you, do you do any, do you still offer workout programs and plans that our audience can get access to that would help? Hey, bud, how are you?
Can you say hi? And then you can step out again, please. Thank you. Please let me finish, okay?
We're almost done, I promise.
Absolutely. We have what we call the MomSanity Sisterhood, which is 3 brand new workout videos per week, one per month, one 10-minute, one 15-minute, one 20-minute.
Awesome.
It's very reasonably priced, and we're actually restructuring some things right now. We also will offer exclusive discounts on our supplements to those ladies, and we are also giving away a huge prize every month as part of an accountability challenge. All you got to do is do your 3 workouts per week and post about them, and then we're giving away a big prize every month, like an Instant Pot, like a Ninja blender, like a for real prize. So
maybe I need to get on this. I need a Ninja blender, like real bad. Aw. So, oh my gosh, he's so funny. He's cute. He can totally be in the thing. It doesn't bother me.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. So that's all through MomSanity. And I know you have multiple companies. I want you to talk real quickly too about your graphic tee company, because I love this t-shirt.
Yes, thank you.
Right?
So this is our brand new, this is our new release. It's Jesus is my rock, and that's how I roll. This is like a really fun tank, and we're only doing this one on pre-order. So it's at crosstrainingcouture.com. I took over the company as the keeper last January when one of my dear friends had started the company, and she really needed someone to be the keeper of the program of the company. And so I'm like, you know what? I can do that. It was really scary because I didn't know what I was doing, but the whole mission is to put God's truth on a tank or a tee or a sweatshirt or a hoodie or whatever. And so I've had a lot of fun so far. I've learned a lot already, but we're moving forward step by step. And this is our latest release, and this one actually comes in a kid's shirt as well. So this is shirts, and
oh my gosh, that's awesome.
For pre-order. Yeah, we've got pink and black.
Oh, how fun.
Sizes, toddler all the way up to extra large. So
that's
super
awesome.
That and offering something new and different. So
cool.
And we are having a great time with that. And like I said, I'm so appreciative to you for helping me a little bit along the way. So.
Yeah. And for those of you guys that don't know, Emily was gracious enough to send us a couple of her tees from Cross Training Couture, and we did a photo shoot with them. So we mixed some of her amazing graphic tees with our LBC Active line. So you can see those on our website at layeredbycake.com, and just look for the tab for LBC Active, and you can find links to her website as well, so that you can view the full line of her graphic tees. So, okay, Emily, I think we've covered a lot in this video. I love it.
We really have.
So let's go into our giveaway segment because I'm super pumped.
Yes.
I'm so grateful that you're willing to give away. She is actually going to be giving away, and I use this product. I love it. It is the MomSanity Mom Fuel Pea. It's a pea protein, right? Am I saying that? I'm doing
So
that.
it's the protein blend is pea, brown rice, and collagen. So many women supplement with collagen now. We've included the collagen in there. So you don't have to have an extra canister on your counter.
Which I love. And I'm going to say, you guys, her protein powder is, and I love that you mentioned with the collagen, because honestly, Emily, I'll be straight up. Like when I first started using it, I had no idea that there was collagen in there. And I'm one of those that'll add collagen to my protein powder. Collagen supplements are expensive. I mean, they're usually about $40 or $50 a month for a 30-day. And yours is included with it. And you're getting, it's your protein powder and all the supplements that are already in there. And it's $47 value, you guys. $47 for a month's supply of what's called Mom Fuel. And if that name isn't more appropriate, I don't know what is. So we're giving away one canister to one lucky mama who's watching this video. All you have to guys do to enter, there's a link below where you just go and enter your email address. And we are going to announce our winner on the next video blog, which is 2 weeks from today. And we will say who's going to announce. So you have 2 weeks to enter. You can definitely share it with your friends. If you have friends who want to check us out, check out this video, just tell them to click the link below and enter their email address to get entered to win. So Emily, thank you so much for this. I appreciate it. Like all of your tips have been so helpful. I think I'm going to have to check out the MomSanity video workouts. Like I didn't even know you were doing those.
Oh gosh, yeah. So they're short and they're intense. Like I said, you get everything going, get everything in a short amount of time. And I think the other thing is a community of moms that's a part of it. It's like people like you. So it's not college students that you're like, oh, like that everything's about, wanting to fit into my bikini, because you have time and energy to focus on that. It's about how do we, prioritize our role as moms and our fitness and making sure that we are showing up for our families and getting it done and being strong and healthy. Because I know you're the same way. Like I like being able to go to the playground and actually getting on the thing and sliding down with my kids, and that's not attainable for me. Like that I can actually do that. And I guess it has nothing to do anymore with a size or anything. So I want to feel strong and healthy to be able to show up for them. I've got 2 little boys, as you saw. They are wild and they need me to be in my top shape for sure.
Absolutely. And I just think all of that is so important. I'm so glad that you built a community just for moms, because I think that's really important, just as I built my business specifically with the mom in mind. Now, granted, we do have non-moms or fur baby mamas in our group. But I think the message is still the same. We're all looking now in my industry, we're all looking for clothes that fit, that are modest, that we can run around and, participate with our children, just like what you're talking about, and not feel self-conscious or that we're dressed too young for our age. Like we want to still be trendy, but not, inappropriate for being with our children and doing the activities that we want to do with our children.
I love that because I have, I think, like a good half or a third of your shop. So
yeah, right. Thank you so much. And I appreciate that too. I mean, I've loved working with you.
An example is this summer, like I really wanted a pair of fun, trendy cutoff shorts, but I did not want my tail hanging out the whole time and like trying to, like, that's not what I stand for. And it's also not what I want to convey to my sons. It's also not what I want to convey to the general public. And so my shorts, I've literally worn them like maybe 3 times a week this whole summer, at least. They're a staple every day.
I love
it. Appreciate that you find things that I can't find elsewhere that are trendy and fun and current, but that also are, modest and to live mom life in.
Absolutely. Amen. Yeah. I love it. Well, thank you so much, you guys. I thank you, Emily, for coming on today and launching the video blog with us, because this is our first video blog of this series. So we're going to be doing a video blog every other week. So again, 2 weeks from now, we'll be announcing the winner of our Mom Fuel giveaway. And we're going to put the links below too for Emily's and all the information that she gave in this video, so that you can check out her amazing graphic tees and you can get involved in her MomSanity community. Because again, you guys, I I wouldn't have Emily on here and sharing this with you if I wasn't a firm believer in it as well. And so excited for our lucky winner to try the Mom Fuel. And if you guys don't win the giveaway, you guys definitely try it. It's $47. I'm telling you, I am a subscriber. You have a subscription process too, which is so easy because I just subscribe and it comes every month like clockwork. It's amazing. So, good stuff.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Shannon. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you guys. And we will see you on the next one. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.